it's Farm Talk Friday. Going live. Ken was adjusting the phone.
Yeah.
And there we have it. So he really is here. Hi, baby. How are you?
Hi, honey. Yes, that's right. It's August 25th. August 25th, 2023. And this is Farm Talk Friday. I'm Ken Jordan. This is my beautiful wife, Giovanna. Hi, beautiful.
Hi, baby.
All right.
Glad to have you here. So unfortunately, the beginning shot's only going to have me
That's okay.
today.
Well, I think that'll probably be better.
No.
Okay, so, I don't know how to turn it brighter on yours. I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna touch the screen, and it didn't do anything, so that's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway,
It's great. Okay, listen. So,
are you gonna give the intro?
yeah, so we do this every Friday, more or less around this time, 2 p.m. Pacific time. We moved to Costa Rica about 7.5 years ago. Took over a completely barren piece of old cattle field that had one tree on it and turned it into a lush food forest mini permaculture farm.
Yes.
So we planted everything here.
Except for the ravine.
Yeah. And, we have 100 and something different things we've planted. Some of them are working, some aren't. Yeah. And we're just trying, we're going for food security. We've got chickens for protein, for eggs. We're growing all kind of greens. We focus on perennials, which means things that grow all the time, like fruit trees or other things like kutuk and chaya and different things.
Versus arugula.
Yeah, versus annuals, the
Lettuce.
things that you have to plant every single year or every season. So that's what we're doing. I was in a band called the Crystal Method. My wife has a nonprofit called Greenwave. Check out greenwave.eco. Is that working?
Yeah, I think it's working this week.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for asking.
And also it's our diary, so we kind of have fun with it. And let's keep going. So in the past, we went through one at a time the 12 principles of permaculture. And so we finished that, but I thought we'd occasionally just give some general permaculture tips along the way. I skipped the birthdays I wanted to talk about.
Can you do the birthdays at the end?
We're going to do birthdays at the end.
Or we could just do you want to do it now?
Yeah, let's do it now. Okay.
Birthday!
So first, happy birthday to my partner in the Crystal Method, Scott Kirkland.
Hey, Scott.
It was like 2 days ago. Happy birthday, Scott. And today, it's 2 birthdays. It is
Patricia Slump.
Patricia from...
Mogensen Reserva.
That's right. And our good friend, Brad Shaw. Happy birthday, Brad. We just saw you.
Happy birthday. Yeah.
And now, okay, back to permaculture tips.
And Dior was yesterday.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah.
All right. So, one thing we do here is what we call chop and drop. And chop and drop is a form of mulching. And mulching does several things, but 2 of the most important things it does is it
Hi, Catherine.
it protects and improves the soil. So you generally want to mulch around your trees and plants that you're growing. And so chop and drop is just a method of when you're pruning or when you're clearing dead leaves and branches or shaping them or whatever, the things you cut, you put around the tree or the plant, and that does a couple of things. It holds water for that plant or tree, and it improves the soil. The soil here that we took over was full of clay and really bad shape, and now after several years, it's starting to look a lot better.
Better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd have to say I didn't realize that. I think when I do chop and drop, I don't put it always around the plant that I'm working on.
Okay.
I'm putting it on the soil that might be bare, like if I see spots. And so I didn't realize that it was a thing where we're supposed to be helping out the plant that we got it from. Or
no, I don't think it's
okay.
It doesn't have to be. And also, you don't want to ever.
Well, that's not how I chop and drop.
You don't want to put it too close. You don't want to put it up against the root or up against the trunk, because that might cause root rot. You want to make a little clearing around it.
Or trunk rot
And
too.
yeah. And you know, the roots of any tree or plant aren't directly below here. They're spreading out here, you know. So you want it around it.
Alrededor.
Alrededor. That's
Alrededor.
right. All right.
Do you want to ask me about this?
I definitely do. What do we have here?
Can you guys see the beautiful color on this? Do you see the beautiful color on
I
this?
see. It's like
This is
copper.
like, yeah, beautiful gold, copper. So this is a caimito top of a tree. And caimitos, so caimitos are like custard apples in English, maybe, más o menos. They're delicious and we love them, but they are giant. And so we have one, and that first tree, I don't want to say it's out of control because we got some fruit from it this year, but when we planted the other ones and we planted them a few years later, they're still, so like I can still reach the top. I just trimmed this today, and so I'm trying to bonsai them so that the fruit will be easier to get, because the monkeys really love caimito. So I want us to get some before monkeys and also the worms.
All right.
It'll be easier to check.
Also, every week Giovanna makes a nice advertisement for Farm Talk Friday. We posted it on Wednesday. What was in the image this week?
Well, this week it was a picture from Nag Panchami, which was celebrated here at the house. It was like a pre-event to tell people about what it is, which is in like the Indian subcontinent and different parts of Asia. They celebrate the snake symbolically, also like the Naga, which is a spiritual thing. So I won't delve into that too much, but I was just kind of exposing people to that since I teach as well. And anyway, it was fun. And so it was a picture of me dressed up in like a dress that's like snakeskin. And although it wasn't snakeskin, it was just like a snakeskin pattern.
Right.
And in front of our yin yang garden, which is kind of like this iconic piece of our, you know, what would we call that? It's like our statement piece of the property is our yin yang garden, which was Ken's idea.
It's like a 7 meter in diameter
Giant
yin yang. And it used to be with light plants and dark plants, but now it's...
we went xeriscape on it to conserve water.
And it's light rocks and dark rocks.
Yeah.
And it is kind of the iconic image of our property.
Yeah. So we're super easy to find on satellites, and
I guess so.
hopefully we'll be on good behavior, and future satellites don't punish us or anything.
Okay, so honey, are spiders like flies, or do spiders like flies?
Oh, yes. Well, so I was out today and I saw what I caught in the corner of my eye, like it was like a little fly or like one of those solitary bees. And then I realized what it was, and it was a spider. And it wasn't doing its like thing that I see really tiny spiders do, where they're just like free flowing and like finding like something to grab onto, like they're like throwing themselves out on their web leash or whatever. So it wasn't doing that, but it was, I think it already had created like a line, and it was just like hanging out like in thin air, it seemed like. And so it seemed to be hovering like a little hovering fly, but it was a spider.
I see.
Yeah, so they can be fly-like sometimes, but they're spiders.
Okay, now, what do you know about black ants and gecko poop?
Well, so I realized, I think at the beginning of this week, you know, I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, hey, whatever. But I mean, I guess we should feel fortunate that, not all the gecko poop has to be cleaned up by us, but that the black ants, we have these little black ants with quite a bite, by the way, they seem to like gecko poop. They were eating it. They were going for it.
Okay, so does that mean, what do you think the trade-off is? Do you think gecko poop attracts black ants, or black ants clean up gecko poop? What?
Wait, say that again?
Do black ants, does gecko poop attract black ants, or do the black ants just clean up the gecko poop for us?
Well, wouldn't that be the same thing?
No, because like if they somehow are attracted to it, that means more ants are coming to that place.
Oh. No, I mean, I think that they're just there. I think that they were, we have so many ants. I think they live all around us all the time. And I think that they just it happens to be on their multi-menu, of like things that they can or want to eat. And so they were,
All right, do you have any good injuries this week? Well,
yeah, I have lots of, I don't think that you guys are going to be able to see these. I got a lot of injuries yesterday. I have some black stuff on my hand, but do you see that? Like, that's red here. These are all thorn. I was grabbing Mogensen, which is like a type of Levine-shaped plant. So I have those from yesterday, but like on my finger here, I got one there. Like, where else did I get it? I think like the side of my finger. And, it's rainy season and it's starting to rain finally, and my gloves were wet, so I didn't wear gloves yesterday, and so I just got like completely tore up. And our friends Sam and Steve, they gave these like really cool protective things for like your arms, and they go over part of your hand, but they don't protect your fingers. They're still not gloves. So anyway, so I got a little tore up. But then today I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you guys see these? I got hit by the hornets.
Ah.
That was intense.
Yes. The hornets hurt.
Yeah. And these were just like little small hornets, but yeah, that was really intense. But I've been practicing my the tantric technique of just like, okay, that's just intensity, and I'm gonna bring that into my center and, kind of not like enjoy it, but just like, all right, this will pass. And it does. It passes in about 10 minutes. After 10 minutes of physical intensity, it does go away.
You're so lucky you got a chance to experience that
intensity. Yeah.
Okay, what is planting trees 60?
We planted probably 60 trees between this morning and yesterday.
Oh, fantastic.
That's why I was working my butt off yesterday in the rain. So on rainy days, actually, like I can go outside more. I don't have to worry as much about the sun, and I can stay out there a long time. And so, yeah, there was a lot of work that happened. And the ground is soft, so it's easy.
Do you think we need more pathways, or do we have more pathways?
No, we have lots of new pathways. Pathways are kind of fun, though. You don't realize that, like what they do for the property until like you have one, and then you're like, oh, I love this.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we need any more, but we might get more in the future, and I'm sure that we'll enjoy them.
Yeah.
Of course, we'll have to maintain them, but that's okay. It's part of the fun too.
Okay, what's going on with our main garden?
Okay, lots of things actually. So our main yin yang garden has like 4 beds that are in the ground currently on either side of the yin yang.
8 beds.
Well, 4 on each side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to balance it out so that they would look somewhat symmetrical, but yeah, the annual thing is a lot of work. So we have some annuals growing in our vivero, which is our little nursery. And they're in like hanging bamboo, and that's cool. They don't get very big, so it's like not quite microgreens, but like small greens that we have going back there. And that'll be wonderful until, the day that the bamboo hanging gardens, completely disintegrate.
Yeah.
How much time do you think we have on that? Like another year?
Yeah, at the most, yeah.
So anyway.
Don't believe all the hype on bamboo.
Yeah, like don't build your whole house out of it if you
unless
don't know.
Unless it's treated with like this borax solution
Yeah.
properly, and then it can last like 20 years.
We were told these were treated, but
No,
that's
wow.
okay. So anyway, but we were told that they were, and they're obviously not. So on the yin yang garden, like we were like Ken heard Stephen Brooks say at Envision. Stephen Brooks is kind of like permaculture, superstar, and he was just going on and on about perennials. And Ken's like, okay, like I think Stephen Brooks said like you should eat 60% perennials. Like he was really advocating for people to have more of a perennial diet. Mm-hmm. And because really it's like, it is about trends sometimes, like people like strawberry banana smoothies because they were introduced to that at some point in their early childhood or something. And then it's nostalgic and, but maybe they don't live somewhere where there are bananas. So it just, you're forced upon a system of relying on all these things that are not maybe sustainable. So bringing it back home to the perennial thing, I think 60% is what he was advocating for. And then Ken's like, well, I want to do 80%. So then we tried to do a lot of asparagus.
Yeah, well, we tried at one point to go 100% perennials.
In those gardens.
Yeah, we tried.
But what were we growing?
I don't know.
I know a lot of it was asparagus, which didn't work out for
Okinawa
us.
spinach.
Yeah, that didn't work out outside either.
Yeah.
Like in those elements. So like this is not covered, this area, and so it's like subjected to a lot of really intense sun and like downpour in the rainy season. So
listen, this whole little farm is an experiment. So we're gonna keep experimenting until it's all working.
Okay. So anyway, so our old perennial plan didn't really work out so well, and so we've gone through like periods where we were trying new things, and then we went for and then it looked barren for like a few months. That was super embarrassing. And then we always we seeded it almost immediately, even though it looked barren. And then finally our cover crops grew in, and then that went crazy. And so we've been talking about that the last few weeks. And then my plan, like in the vivero, we were nursing these trees. So I think it just spit. Sorry, guys.
I don't think it hit them.
It didn't?
No.
Okay. So we had moringa growing in the back, and some, not Okinawa spinach, but okra. We were going to plant okra again in between. So anyway, I had already put like some chica skill and some chaya in one of the rows, but like this week we put in the moringas, 3 on each side, and then we have the okra in between those. So the idea is like we're gonna have like these trees that we're gonna keep kind of small. We also have freehold apollo that had already been planted there, and then in between them we could plant like some other perennial things or even annual things that we're just not gonna care as much about like if they don't work out. But I think that they might work out because the trees would act as like some kind of barrier against the elements. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how this goes.
That's
it's going to be, one other experiment.
So, in animal sighting news, we when we first moved here, we were super surprised to see deer on our property. We're like, we didn't even know deer
existed
here. Around here. It was like mind blowing. These beautiful deer, and
even though it is on the Costa Rican money.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah.
And so you just saw some this past week, right? One.
Yeah. Well, somebody said, Pippa might have said that she saw deer, and then one of our workers said he saw some deer.
Venado.
Venado.
Venado, that's what it's called.
The deer is called venado?
V.
Oh,
venado.
Venado.
Like venison.
Okay, right.
Venado.
Okay. So, I don't know. I just I turned a corner and this giant deer went and I was shocked. I mean, and we've seen deer recently. And I told you, remember I was walking someone through, I think it was after Ken's birthday, and I was walking our friends through, it probably included Scott and Robert and Mike Lant and whoever else was on the tour at that moment. And oh no, it was Captain Pete. Mm-hmm. And I said, hey Pete, what animal do you think is doing this? Because one of our trees, it looked like it was all scratched up. And because, even though he's mostly an ocean conservation guy, he was working with the Costa Rican Rangers. And so I knew he would have a lot of experience with terrestrial life as well. And he's like, oh, that's a deer. He's like, their antlers get itchy. They get they're fuzzy when they're, I don't know, teenagers or something. They go and they scratch the fuzz off. And so there we have it. The deer are here. And quite happy, apparently.
And then I want to end on the beach rescue.
Okay.
We were at the beach a couple of days ago, early in the morning, and Giovanna spotted
golf balls.
These eggs. And what were they?
They were turtle eggs.
Yeah, they were turtle eggs. And so you contacted Jeremy at Wild Sun Rescue Center because you thought maybe we should take him to one of the
turtle
sanctuary where they bury and
protect,
guard, and then release the little baby turtles. But he said instead.
So Jeremy and his wife Maria just had their second child. So
congratulations!
And yeah, congrats, Boa. You have a little sister, Sally. Anyway, so he sent me back a picture with the new baby, and he's like, "Hi, I'm busy. Here's the contact for the guy that runs the turtle sanctuary." He gave me 2 contacts, so I contacted them both, and one of them responded, said, "Hey, it's my day off. This is what you do." He's like, bury them, basically. I said, okay.
As deep as you can, right?
No, not as deep as you can.
12 inches.
Yeah, he told me. I asked how many centimeters, and then he told me, and then I did the math, and then I buried them. Yeah, took a picture and sent it back. And you're supposed to, I think, kind of mound it. That's how I see the turtles doing it, and
that's
I made a heart.
Saving the world of turtles.
Yeah.
At La Mancha's Beach.
Yes.
Las Manchas. All right.
So if you do see little golf balls, many of them, they might be turtle eggs. Yeah. So please don't eat them. We don't think they're Viagra. That's what is commonly thought, is that they're eaten for virility and yeah. I mean, other animals need to eat too, but I guess if they were really hungry and they could smell the eggs, they could still get into them. But just trying to protect them from, I don't know, just a little bit more.
Yeah,
it's 1 in 1,000. The little turtles were, so we should give them as much of a chance as possible. Hi, Sammy.
All right, so join us again next week, either on Giovanna's page or my page or the Green Wave House. So
I think next week is Green Wave House.
Yeah, see you next week on Farm Talk Friday.